Nikki, I'm gonna give y'all a little peep of her bio, and then we'll go in. She is the CEO. Now let's just go right on into her bio, and I'll tell y'all some of the stuff she's gonna be doing. So Nikki Burnett, affectionately known as Nikki B, the brand is a Chicago native, currently residing on the West Coast. She is a mother, serial entrepreneur, real estate investor, and basketball mom. Nikki B has over 18 years of experience in real estate sales, construction, and investments. She is the CEO of Modern Luxury Real Estate, an investment firm specializing in vacation and short-term rentals found on Airbnb and Vrbo. Nikki B is a six-figure Airbnb host, okay, that coaches others on how to become profitable and successful in the short-term rental industry. She is the brand ambassador for CEO Chicks, an entrepreneurial community designed, to teach female CEOs how to dominate in their respective fields. Nikki Burnett is the epitome of hardworking, strength, and resilience. Her sacrifice for her family shows how determined she is to help her son reach his ultimate goals, all while pursuing her own. Clink, 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 clink. One of her favorite things to do is travel, attend her son's basketball games, and help others create income with short-term rentals. She's going to touch on the ins and outs of the industry, what it takes to launch a successful short-term rental, discover if you are ready to embark upon this journey, when it's best to hire a coach or partner with more experienced partners. Y'all know we believe in that, right? And we thought it was perfect for us to end Black History Month with a woman that is pioneering and trailblazing in the industry. Can you guys help us welcome one of our newest partners to the platform? Come on, y'all, jazz fingers. So we are super excited to start. It's going to be in a chat form. It was informal. We're going to start off. You can actually stop sharing if you want to, Pammy. So let's just jump right into it, Nikki B. What is your motivation? Why are you doing what you do? Talk to us, girl.
So, my motivation, when I used to be asked that question, the first thing would be my son, right? Because as a mother, everything stops, and that's our end all be all. Well, when you finally get to this age where your kids are doing well and you can really focus on yourself, I can honestly say now my motivation is success and being successful in the pursuit of it, because it never ends. So being my best self, outgrowing my old self, becoming the very best version of me. And as women, you men don't understand, but we go through several, y'all would never understand, but we go through several stages of figuring it out, figuring myself out, and the mom, and then the wife, and everything that life entails.
All of the things, right? Which leads me to the next thing. How do you balance it all? How do you balance being a mom, your career path, being a wife, all of the things, and still pursue the things that you're pursuing?
I put me first now. I put me first now, and the things that I want and the things that's most important to me. And then everything else follows. And then, family is still right there, but it's going to come a little bit. And then focusing on the business. And again, goes back to being successful, because once we get to a certain age, we feel like, oh, I wish I would have done this. And I never want to live life with regret. So, I'm punching the gas, like I'm intentional, more so than I ever been. And I don't know if that comes with being in our 40s now, but I'm in a great space. And God is showing me that, because I am constantly making I meet so many people in my lifetime. I know everybody, but making the right connections,
Mm-hmm. Makes it big.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to take a step back and have you tell us about how you got started in real estate. And then the follow-up would be how you got specifically the success that you have in short-term rentals. Sorry.
Yeah.
No problem. So my real estate journey began in 2005, 25 years young. I got my license, and I was a new mom, new wife, and I was like, okay, now I figured it out. So, I'm that girl from Chicago, from the South Side. I didn't go to Howard like my smart partners here, but I was always, more common sense smart, but um I really knew for a while I didn't figure it out. So I finally found at the age of 25, this is what I want to do, because motherhood took over all that. Got my license. My husband was rehabbing and flipping at that time. And that prompted me to get my license. I was then mentored by a lady named Dolores Richmond, and she was a multi-million-dollar agent, and she took me under her wing. And I was her receptionist. I was her showing agent. Even before I had my license, I had no business showing houses. But I put my foot in early. So I was learning everything, soaking it up. I had never been exposed to a lot of, the properties and learning the areas and so forth. And I might mention again that I'm from Chicago. So Flossmoor, Illinois is like a big deal in Chicago. Tatiana seems like she knows because she's an Army brat, so she's probably familiar with the area. So that was like a really big deal. So open up my eyes to, okay, I found my niche.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my license, and I worked with everyone, buyers, agents. There was a lot of short sales going on. That became my specialty because everyone was going into foreclosure around 2007. So I took on that. I worked for Keller Williams, Caldwell Banker, and then the last firm I was with was Remax in the Gold Coast, downtown Chicago. Mm-hmm. And then I got into commercial, so I kind of like got involved with all aspects very early on. And I sold real estate for 12 years, and then I figured this is not what I want to do anymore. So I got tired of running around with buyers and just being on everyone's else schedule. I then jumped into the building. So Naperville, Illinois is another prominent area in Chicago. We did a few tear downs. So I got involved in, building, but not to the capacity that our new partners is going to get to. I foresee subdivisions and developments,
yes.
And the areas that I'm currently in, which is Alabama right now, where my son goes to school. One of my properties is in a subdivision where they bought like 50 lots and just built some beautiful, affordable houses. So that's my goal, but I've done just about everything to answer your question in the space of real estate, which is now why I'm on the new wave of short-term rentals.
The good way.
You gotta change with the times. You gotta get onto the new trends. The old way is not necessarily the new way anymore.
For sure.
And
sure.
we're not in the multifamily space, but we have some single families in Chicago, and we do long-term Section 8 rentals. So, we're building equity and stuff over there, but we're not making a huge profit every month like short-term rentals. So the best of both worlds, but loving this new rental arbitrage route that helps you get into the business with a lot less money.
So can you tell us how you parlayed into the short-term rentals from the space you were in before?
Yeah, very good question. So I'm gonna take it back a little bit. I met this client in Chicago in 2016, and he was telling me that he had some Airbnbs in Dallas, that he had like 10 units. And Airbnb wasn't really a thing in 2016. And me having all of my years of real estate, you couldn't tell me something I didn't know about. I was like, I ain't interested in that. It's like, I'm telling you, it's a lot of money and you should check it out or whatever. I was like, okay, so that was the first time that I had ever heard of Airbnb. So then the next year, we rented an Airbnb in LA or something. And then I kind of saw how, I saw this new wave of like, wow, you can just rent somebody's house. It wasn't until I, rented several Airbnbs and started understanding the process that I knew, or I should say that I learned that you can get into the business without owning property. So I read a book. I share this story all the time because this changed my entire outlook on getting into rental arbitrage. There's a very well-known Airbnb coach named Brian Page, and a friend of mine recommended his ebook. And it was a quick 20-page read, and it broke it down on how he got started, his journey. And for me, knowing everything I knew in real estate, I was like, oh, this is easy. I was like, okay, I could do this tomorrow. So I immediately got started. And I know you have other questions for me, and then I'll talk about my first property. But that was pretty much like my introduction to that was my education. I read that book and it just clicked because I knew everything else, that I needed to know.
That was a question. Did you do any coaching, or because one of the things that we believe in heavily is do your research, take the time, spend the money ahead of time, because you're either going to spend the money in it's going to be one or two ways. It's either going to be upfront with the coach, somebody that's a little bit more experienced than you are, or it's going to be in lessons learned that you lose your money on.
And that's what we're going to get into.
It's one or the other, and I would like to pause and say, we're going to be talking with Nikki and asking her questions, but please do put your questions in the chat. I'll see your questions come up, and we're going to interject your questions as well, or we're going to let you all ask her questions too. We'll have a Q&A a little bit later too, but definitely put them in there, because I see so many people here, so I see that you guys are here to learn. So we want to make sure that we get your questions answered too. We don't want to be too selfish, because I have plenty to ask, okay? All right, so tell us a little bit. So you read the book. Did you do anything else? Did you do any coaching with anyone? Talk to us a little bit about that and the importance of that, because honestly speaking, even with us, when we were first starting, when we would hear people say that, we were even a little bit leery, and a little bit hesitant, like, they're just trying to get money. You know what I'm saying? But really, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. If we didn't go through the programs that we've gone through, we wouldn't have been able to amass the success that we have in the short amount of time that we have. It really, really makes a difference. But go ahead, I'll let you speak on that.
Okay, so that was like my formal education and training and just the book. However, all of my realtor experience and wearing the many hats, that was my teacher. Mm-hmm. So once I read the book, I immediately knew I can do it. And I started my first property in a little area called Lubbock, Texas. But it wasn't until I got my property, priced it, listed it on Airbnb without knowing what I was doing. And then I took a guy by the name of Kevin Motivated Me. He's an Airbnb coach on Airbnb, on Instagram, YouTube. So I took his course, but not until I put the first property on, and I was like, I'm not getting any bookings. Like, what am I doing? So I knew all of the steps to take and, how to decorate. I knew it was in the perfect area. So I did all of that, but I didn't price it properly. So fast forward, took his course and learned a ton. So my experience have come from trial and error. So it gives me the opportunity to share the do's, the do's and don'ts, and then the areas to stay away from, because I've been in this space for 3 years now. So I kind of know what I'm doing.
I love it.
How you determine the markets that you're going to set up your short-term rentals in. So what you just explained kind of tells us how you kind of parlayed into the first market that you were in. But since then, how do you determine what market you're going to expand into?
So I kind of found myself in a college town, and that became my niche. Mm-hmm. So the first property was in, as I mentioned, Lubbock, Texas, which is a college town. My son was going to Texas Tech. And we had to move kind of like in a quick time frame. It was the pandemic. He had transferred and he needed to find somewhere else to train. So we made a decision in like 2 weeks. I got the property on Airbnb. So by it being my old residence, I didn't really come out with any investment because I left all of my previous furniture, which was great. So the first investment wasn't really an investment. Everything was there. And I just had to buy the little, accessories, new linen, and make it feel more like a hotel vibe or what have you. So initial investment was zero.
Infinite return.
Yeah. So that part was great, but not pricing it right from day one, I lost thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I did the coaching, and it taught me a whole lot. And then I moved forward. So the short-term rental industry for me, my niche is these college towns. So after that one, I expanded to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and then Arizona, which is also, we're near the airport. So we're near Tempe, ASU. So when it comes to, a lot of people don't know about the college town. So I'm here. I just left another college town yesterday, Columbia, South Carolina. I had been there before for AAU games, but experiencing it, I'm like, this is a market, because I see the proximity to where the games are played. They have the number one girls basketball team right now. They have tons of concerts, and the airport is not far away. So in my free ebook that I offer, I teach you what you need to look for. And it's standard in real estate: location, location, location.
Yeah.
If you're within 15 minutes in proximity to the airport, the colleges, the restaurants, the tourist attractions, the hospitals, those are the places you want to be.
We actually have our other syndication, other babies down in Columbia, South Carolina. Excuse me. So that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually one of our questions. How do you determine your markets that you're going to go in?
Yeah, so for me, I try to stick to the college towns. So now that I saw what Columbia, South Carolina has to offer, that's going to be something I'm going to pursue. And I've done a little research as well. And I talked to the Uber driver yesterday, and just got familiar, got on Trulia just to see what the price point was. So I experienced a lot of areas myself, and then I kind of make that determination. So in addition to that, a lot of people think, oh, I want to go into the big cities, the Atlantas, the Chicago markets, New York. I have some clients that I'm actually training and coaching, and New York is just hard.
It's expensive.
So it's hard and expensive. It's very hard and expensive. So with the college towns, you're usually in a very small town. The rent is very low, everything is affordable. So now you can make that money. And when something is going on, when these football games are taking place and everybody's coming to see Roll Tide and Nick Saban, then I can get $2,500 a night with a 3-night minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So I can capitalize when it's something major going on, or something like in Arizona with Super Bowl, we did well on the properties there. So I think that for me, I'm going to always stick with those. I mean, I'm not going to ever get out of my comfort zone when I know that I can make more money. I want to make more money, so I don't have to be in those big markets. And I've been doing pretty well, and I haven't been in those markets, with the exception of Arizona.
Right. So you find your niche. You know what I'm saying? What works well for you, what's working, and you do the same type of model in the next market.
And then that's why you hire a coach that knows the areas, that knows where to go, where not to go. So for example, I can tell you Nashville and Vegas are two places that have some of the most extravagant rules and regulations. It's just hard. They just make it very hard. Now that I've learned what I know, you can do North Las Vegas, so I know the people and in every market. So whether it's a realtor in Chicago, Orlando, Houston, my database, my Rolodex goes, very far with the people that knows their stuff. So I'm able to coach my people and put them with someone that can actually help. And most importantly, know the market and know how to navigate around everything.
The rules and regs, let's definitely talk about that, because that's really something that you have to really pay attention to first and foremost. Because if you're not familiar with that, then you can go and start somewhere and not necessarily be able to execute whatever your strategy is. So talk a little bit about how it's in some of the places that the rules and regs may not be as tight, right? That they could actually look into.
I'm coaching someone in Chicago now. And of course, I know several realtors there. And what I'm finding out is they require a number. So it's a way to get around everything. So you go ahead and you apply for this number, and then the city of Chicago gives it to you. And then once you go ahead and put that number in, you can go ahead and list your property. So that is like a 30-day rule from what I'm understanding. And I'm learning more. Now, when it comes to a place like Nashville, which is a great market for real estate in general, they require, if you're renting, of course, we're talking about the rental arbitrage way, you have to get approval from the landlord, and then you have to pay, I believe, over $900, and you have to wait to get approved. How are you going to make some money if it's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
So you want to be in those areas that you don't have to check with. Of course, you have to check the rules, regulations, but you don't have to pay, and you don't have to wait for permits and all that type of things.
I see a couple, and that's key, because that can mess with your money and your profit margins right off. And so you don't want to start off, in arrear. You know what I'm saying? I see some questions in the chat. Pam, I'll let you take whatever your question is, and then I'm gonna read a couple in here.
Tatiana, I'm sorry, I have some noise going on. I don't know if you guys can hear that outside my house.
No.
Sorry. Tatiana is asking, can short-term rental be defined? So can we define that for the group, for our newbies?
So short-term rental, that's a very good question. So short-term rental is rentals on like a weekly or monthly basis. So it's a short-term rental opposed to a yearly lease, or a 6-month lease, 9-month lease. And that's pretty much how it's determined. So you're renting a property for a short period of time.
For sure. And it's more typically with your short term, it's more coined for vacation travelers. More so, that's typically the demographic that is going to fall under that short-term rental umbrella, versus corporate rental, where you have your business travelers, your nurses and things like that. They're typically looking to stay for like a month or so, maybe a month or 3 months at a time, but definitely under a year.
So you know what, Nikki, when it comes to the short-term rentals, because my properties are in college towns, it's generally parents, people coming in for events. So that's vacation, but I also get a ton of contractors, as well as, the traveling nurses.
Okay.
But sometimes their travel may be 3 weeks. It's not always, a month long, but it kind of goes hand in hand with vacation and people that travel for work.
Okay.
Yeah, and so in our experience, we coin those who are traveling for work more quote unquote corporate rentals, because they're traveling for business, number one. A lot of times in the nursing space or in the airline space, they get per diem or stipends that will pay for their lodging. And so they tend to, they're looking for a longer term stay. Like we said, it could be short as 30 days, but it could be, we've had people up to 4 to 6 months wanting to stay in our corporate rental. The shorter term, it can be it could be 3 days, it could be 2 days, whatever you set your minimums as for your business model, that will determine, whether it's a shorter term stay or a longer term business clientele that you want to target. You need to figure out, if you're setting up your business, what you want your target customer to be. And it could be a mix. We certainly had
we like mixes.
We had our Atlanta property set up as a corporate rental, and while we targeted, the nurses and the flight personnel, if there were lags in our bookings, then we would fill them with the vacation rentals that are shorter term, quicker turnover, so that we wouldn't go without any revenue.
And you definitely want them to have a double prong, if not triple prong strategy for filling that unit, right, Nikki?
Absolutely. And of course, I would personally prefer like someone that would stay, 45 days, 60 days, but I don't always get those clients. And there's another platform, Furnish Finders. And I've had some bookings from them. And I like that they only charge a flat fee. So they don't charge any percentages or anything like Airbnb. The company or whomever who does the scouting, they find you, they contact you, you send them the link or whatever form of payment, and they're pretty much cut out. However, there's nothing like the traction and traffic on Airbnb
Yeah.
and Verbo.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
It's nothing like it. And that's another question. We're going to get into that because I'm constantly learning too, right?
Mhm. We
But
all
I'm
are.
learning. Yeah. But I just recently learned some new tricks that I'm going to implement this week with Airbnb on how to get more bookings. So I love Airbnb, I must say, and you never know what you're going to get, but I've never had an issue. I've never had a serious issue besides someone smoking weed in the house. That was it.
We had that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
It wasn't in our unit. He was actually in another unit, but was coming into our unit.
okay. Yeah. So some people feel like it's risky, but what everything is a risk. But as long as you know what to do and how to word it, how to keep the riffraff, how to look at the reviews, how to, first of all, the price point is going to attract the type of people that you want.
Mhm.
But then of course you have to adjust to make sure that you're, making money that month. So, a little give and take.
So I'm going to take another question from the chat. Adrian wants to know, do you always disclose to the owner that you will be using their property for Airbnb arbitrage?
Such a great question. And the answer is no. And and all complete honesty and transparency, my realtor friend, who's also with Remax in Houston, when I took Kevin Motivated Me's class, I'm like, no, he gave us the script on how to do this and do that. She was like, I'm letting you know now, we're going to be wasting time, and time is money. If we go in with, exposing what we're going to do, and not exposing, but just being, they don't need to know that. You need to know that I am going to rent this property. And for me, I am also going to be staying there from time to time when I travel. And the way that we kind of make sure that we're not doing anything illegally is reviewing the lease to make sure that there are no stipulations regarding, they call it subletting.
Yeah.
So once you review that lease, and if it has any of that terminology, no subletting, no Airbnb, Verbo, then this is not the property that's going to work for you.
Moving on.
Now there are other coaches like Kevin Motivated Me that teaches you how to, pitch the landlord and give them this script and all of that. But I don't have the time and energy to call 100 people. Not to mention when you're looking for something to rent, you don't have the inventory and you don't have many options to choose from. So that's, my way that I've done it, and I've been successful in doing so.
And there you have it.
Yes. It's been working, and it's been working for my clients because, again, I'm not going in and doing anything wrong. It didn't say that I couldn't sublease in the, it didn't say it didn't have any of those do's and don'ts. So we're going to do what we're going to do, because we're going to figure it out and make our money and move on to the next property.
And it goes to me and I'm a rebel all the time. Y'all already know that, I'm sure. So I feel like rules are made to be broken, but if it wasn't written in black and white, then you got to tell me that's a loophole. And that's what law is. You understand what I'm saying? You find the loopholes and you jump through. And this goes to our other question. So how do you feel mindset plays a part in your success?
I think mindset is vital. It's one of the most important things ever. And not only is mindset important, a strong mindset is important. Because if you don't have that, then you're not going to reach your goals. You're not going to reach your goal as a mother. You're not, because you got to be able to deal with, excuse my French, shit. You got to be able to deal with it. It's going to come, especially the challenges of getting into real estate. I hear so many people, oh, I don't want to be a landlord. They don't understand what I believe, what's her name? She said she wanted to build generational wealth. Yeah, this is the way. This is the wave. It always has been and always will be. And once you understand that, you're going to take the risk and deal with the things that comes along with, you know, being a property owner, being a host, and making passive income. So the mindset has to be strong, and then you have to surround yourself around like-minded people with the same mindset, because if you don't, when things ain't going your way and you're surrounded by that negative energy and people that don't have the same strong mindset, then it really makes it hard for you to do what you said you were going to do.
Mhm.
Agreed.
You know, it's an influence.
Agreed. Ty said it best on the last meeting. Your network is your net worth.
Yes,
That is
ma'am.
real talk. Real talk.
It is. And let me just say this. I
Mhm.
really feel like, you know, coming from humble beginnings, I come from nothing. Like, I survived a lot, I learned a lot, but if my mindset had never changed, I would still think that living in the projects is normal. Raising your kids the way I was grown at 12. Like, I had to figure it out, you know?
Latchkey kid.
So for me, that's why outgrowing my old self, because that girl that came from where she came from, she is no longer that same girl. You know, the mindset had to change for me to become, most important, a mother, because I raised my son totally different than the way I was raised. Like, people be like, the people that know me, they be like, girl, that's your son. He is. I'm like, yeah, that's I know I did a good job with that one.
I love
And
it.
look, and we all know, we don't know what these kids gonna do now.
We do not know. We do not know. We're on a wing and a prayer.
So yeah.
Martin wants to know, what platforms do you utilize for marketing?
So I have my website, Instagram, first and foremost, Facebook, and now we're getting ready to start advertising on YouTube.
Now, are those channels you're advertising for your short-term rentals, or you're talking about advertising the brand overall?
The brand overall. So
Okay.
when it comes to like my brand and what I do as far as coaching, I'm on those platforms. When it comes to my properties, it's strictly on the ones that need to be on. So I have an Instagram page, but I feel that everybody is going to Airbnb and Verbo, if that's the question. So
Right.
Airbnb, Verbo, and Furnish Finders. I don't know if you guys ever did booking.com.
Mhm.
Did you ever list on booking.com?
Yeah, we were on several sites. Pam, Furnish Finder, Avail.com, Booking.com,
Apartments.com,
Apartments.com.
sublet.com. We have a
Okay,
list
so-
of like 15
Here?
sites.
Want me to sit there?
Someone, Sophia, can you go on mute, please? Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
No worries. Go ahead. What were you saying, Pam?
Oh, I was just saying there was like 15 different sites. Sublet.com, booking.com, apartments.com, Furnish
Go
Finder.
Lightly.
Go
We were on a
Go
lot.
Lightly.
We're on a lot.
Go Lightly as well.
And I know that there are several. So for me, because I manage all of my properties myself, I felt comfortable working with the platforms that brought in the bulk of the business, which are those three. Now, booking.com, I just wanted to share this. That was a very, I had never really known about booking.com, but I would get so many bookings, but the reviews that you didn't know who you were renting to. You didn't know who, you had no information. And for me, if you don't have a review with Airbnb, you can't decline, because I don't know what I'm getting.
Exactly.
I don't, and you have to be 25. So again, I know how to keep the riffraff out.
Yeah.
And those have been my three, and I'm open to expanding, but I'm really looking to do more of the corporate listings. And I have to know who you are. So booking.com, you may hear a lot about that, but that's one of the ones I had a horrible experience with, and I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, we didn't use booking.com too much. But you're to speak to what you're saying, that's absolutely correct. We were very big. It was so funny. Pam would read a little bit more than I would, but she would read the reviews and she'd be like, I don't know about this person before we would accept.
Yeah,
I'm like you, Pam.
our business primarily came from Furnish Finder. They were a really good source for, and I, again, 3 months, 6 months, consistently. If you want to get into more of the corporate rental, the more consistent, longer term, but not really a whole year. And if their work assignment got renewed, then they would ask for their rental to be renewed, which is good. So.
And she's speaking more when we were in, I'm sorry, Nikki, go ahead.
So I've been having more people that want to extend, and this is something that I recently learned, opposed to having them extend through, of course, Airbnb or whomever. I send them a link to pay me directly.
You better.
And I had to learn that because it's like, okay, now I'm extending. I want to offer a discount because I want you to stay.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the middleman out. I'm going to, so that's definitely another way to make more money without paying, those extra fees, because they do add up, especially for the long-term rentals.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say long-term, I still mean short-term, but I mean like 90-day bookings.
Right.
The longer term.
We mean a little bit longer than a week or two is what we're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely cutting out that middleman is the key. And then also having additional marketing things that go out to your tenants that have stayed there before, to let them know maybe there's different events coming up, or you're offering a discount or whatever, so you can get them to return as well. But I think I was going to try to read one from here, or either on ours. Maybe I'll take it from here. What can you tell me that's most important? Okay, so Danielle says she landed her first apartment for short-term rental Airbnb. I haven't even furnished it yet. Very good, that's okay, you landed it. Is it a better profit to short-term or Airbnb? So, okay, are you saying, is it better for corporate or Airbnb? Just clarify a little bit for me. And what can you tell me that's most important to have or know when you first start, Nikki?
So I don't understand the first part of the question yet, but hopefully it's in a very desirable location. Like I mentioned, 15 to 20 minutes from everything. I'll use Houston, for example. Galleria area, booming. You go out in the outskirts, not so much. So I would say the location, but it needs to be aesthetically pleasing. It needs to be inviting. Hopefully it has an open floor plan. Hopefully those things are, already in place. I hope you chose the right one, because that matters. So I stick to the no carpet. Now, if it has carpet, then maybe in the bedrooms. But for me, absolutely no carpet in the living room areas, the first floor areas, because that's more wear and tear. Mm-hmm. So decor is very, very important. Durable, reasonable furniture. It has to be durable, and then it has to be reasonable, because furniture is expensive. So you have to know how to do a real big look for less. And then one other thing I might add, the key to finding reasonable furniture is I go in the lower income areas, and I go to their furniture stores, and they always have really nice furniture, that's affordable, because you want it to look good. And then another thing, my go-to for all of my bedroom furniture and decor is at home. I would highly suggest at home. You can get everything you need because you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot. So at home, I get my headboards, I get my wall decor, and Walmart, I get my TVs. So I can send you some links to some of my properties so you can see how pretty they are, because, the first thing people commented on is, oh, I love the decor. And And what they want to take pictures, they want to do a Zoom at the house. They want to, even though I say no parties, they still end up having graduation gatherings. And, it's a college town. So with my rules, the first thing they'll say, is it okay if we invite people over? It's okay. Just no loud music, no outside noise after 10 o'clock. But, make it look good. It's going to stay booked as long as it's in the right area.
There you go. There you go. At home. And what's the other one? Home Sense. Oh, I love those.
Home Goods.
Home Goods, Home Sense, At Home. I don't know if they offer business credit. I always have to figure out, do they offer business credit first?
They do.
They do.
Yes, ma'am.
Hush your mouth. I'm signing up tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Tonight. You should have never told me that.
When I say you can get everything there.
Wow, I did not know they offer business credit. Okay. See, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Danielle, if you want to clarify your first question, you can come back to us later. Pam, you want to go to the next one? Can you see it or not?
What if someone wants to stay for a month, but the state that you live in says if someone stays for a month, you have to give them an eviction notice? Do you tell them they can't stay for the whole month?
Can you repeat that question?
What if someone wants to stay for a month, but the state you live in says if someone stays for a month, you'll have to give them an eviction notice? Do you tell them they can't stay for the whole month?
What state is this?
This question is from Mimi.
Mimi, what state is this that you have to give somebody an eviction notice after they stay a month? Mimi, are you there?
I would say when you're doing your due diligence to determine where you're setting up your Airbnb or your short-term rental, that you avoid these kinds of restrictions, because you're setting yourself up for instances like this where someone may want to stay longer. And even if you know what they are and you're willing to take that risk, because it's all about what your risk aversion is, you need to understand what the penalties are. So what are the fees enough for you where you're willing to take the chance? Like it's a decision for you to make as, the person operating the business. Number one, is this the market or space that you want to open in? And number two, is it worth the risk for you to be able to do that? So I'd say do your due diligence and make your decision based on how you want to operate.
Yeah,
Nikki, have you ever had that experience?
Never ever. That's why I'm like, what?
Sophia wants to know what you think about the Boston market for Airbnb.
I wish I could answer that question, but I know nothing about Boston. So one of the things that I do and I offer with my group coaching is I find a realtor and we partner with someone that helps you. So I don't know every market, but I know someone, in each market. So I do the due diligence of researching agents and finding who's a fit. So I don't know anyone, but I can literally make a call. I usually start with Remax agents and then talk to someone and then kind of get some leads from there. But I personally don't know anything about Boston besides I went for a basketball game and that's when COVID came and we caught COVID there and it was cold as ever.
Oh no, you caught COVID? That sucks.
In Boston. So I was like, I don't never have to go there anymore. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. I don't personally know that area. But again, I don't know, each area, but we have partners that we work with that help us out along the way and find us what we need.
So
before we do that one, we are big, both Pam and I are big on partnerships. Hence the name Partners, Paragon Partners, we're big on it. We're big on it. So in what ways have you partnered with others in growing your business?
So I had an event space in Chicago, 2011 through 2015. And I've done multiple things. And one of the things, when the market crashed, I started bartending. So long story short, I mastered this bartending before the Bottle Girls came out, and I was making a lot of money and doing all the big parties and all that stuff. So a friend of mine, he was a promoter. So we partnered and we opened an art gallery. The name of the art gallery was Society Art Gallery. You can Google us. We had this big, fabulous grand opening with these, with the girls, the models with the body paint. It was a thing. It was like the thing to do in Chicago. So we opened up an event space that also acted as an art gallery. And we did so well because I knew, the bar side of things. I knew the logistics on how and who to hire, what the people needed to look like, what the people wanted, and he brought the people in. So he knew like everybody in Chicago from every scene. And then he also knew the people that had the budget. So we did well, and we were in business for 4 years. We went from a 2,500 square foot space, and then we moved to a 5,000 square foot space. And we did good for 4 years. We hosted all of the elite fashion shows. We did weddings, receptions, and it was a great partnership because we had the same mindset. Yeah. So he got me, I got him, and we worked very, very well together for 4 years. So that was a great partnership. And then I have an upcoming partnership. I told you about Nikki. I am going to be a partner in this new hookah lounge in Houston. 8,000 square feet. It's going to have a speakeasy. It's going to have a daiquiri bar. And I'm excited because I'm partnering with a friend who has worked for Marriott for 12 years. And he has mastered the game of knowing exactly what to do, what to implement, even higher than my level of experience with having my own event venue. So I'm excited to come into this partnership I love having a good drink. I love having a good time. And then I know how much money we can bring in. So this is his second location. We're partnering together, and we're trying to make $1 million this year, if not more, in the first year, because he's already done it with his first location. So super excited about that partnership and to kind of get back into nightlife in a sense, but make that fast money because, everybody popping bottles and smoking hookah, especially in Houston.
I love it. Let's not forget, we're getting ready to partner too now.
I was gonna let you make that announcement.
I'm gonna let you take it. Go ahead.
So again, we are aligned. I mean, to meet a Nikki D and a Nikki B with similar personality, goals, and we basketball moms, like how often does that happen? So since we've connected, we've decided that we're going into partnership, everyone, this year. We are going to, we're going to start with Houston. So guess what? When people come to Houston, we got somewhere to stay. So we're going to have our own network of Airbnbs where we're going to start with Houston. We're going to do Orlando, and then we're deciding where we're going to go from there. So now we're going to implement everything that we know and make this money together. And I'm going to do most of the work because Nikki and Pam is too busy, and this is what I do anyway. But I'm here for it because when I say the excitement of running into at home and getting it, I love that. Like
don't think you're gonna be by yourself though. We'll come down sometime, not all the time though.
Look, sometimes. But what I'm saying is I'm ready and able. Most importantly, I got the time. Basketball season is over. I'm gonna hit the ground. I'm here for 2 weeks and then I'm on to the next one. And that's how we scale, because I couldn't do it without y'all and y'all couldn't do it without me.
Hey,
Which is why partnership is priority in order to grow.
We've been trying to tell people that you can't be afraid of it though. You can't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to get out there, see what people have going on, see how what strengths, what weaknesses you all have, and then you collectively come together, right?
Together we are more.
Powerful, for sure.
So powerful.
All right, Pam, you want to take the next one? I'm sorry.
Do you have to have a real estate license to start this journey?
Oh no, not at all. My real estate background is being a realtor for 12 years. But if you don't know the market, then you need to hire a realtor. If you know absolutely nothing about locations or nothing about real estate, you want to hire a realtor. And no, you don't have to have your license yourself to do this.
do you have a plan on how long you will hold properties?
I see myself just continuing to build.
As long as they bring revenue, why
And,
rock, right?
and you know what my goal is, Pam, and I know that we're going to get there. I want to do some properties in Dubai because you can do the same formula there. So I'm following and in contact with a realtor who lives over there now.
Mhm.
Of course, I would want to buy something, but why not get my foot wet and just start low, you know? But I want to definitely go over there and go internationally. And then eventually buy some stuff like maybe in Tulum, or I was even looking at some villas in Turks and Caicos and different vacation areas like that. But I'm ready to go next level. So
I love
I
it.
don't,
You know, I have a master's in international business, right?
you see, nothing surprises me about you, girl. Nothing surprises me about you. I swear.
Pammy, how long have I been talking about going overseas though?
Since we started the business.
Since we started.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something real quick. So I was just there for my birthday, right? In Turks and Caicos. And this is the last day me and my husband is at the bar. I'm mentioning this because this was meant to be. So we're at the bar last night and I get to talking to this lady, and first thing I always ask people if we connect, what's your sign? And she was like, I'm a Libra, because I'm big on, yeah. Like, if you tell me your sign is like a Gemini, then I'm gonna think you're a little flaky and indecisive. And not all Geminis are like that, but they got two personalities. Most. So anyway, I asked this lady,
No
like,
offense to the Geminis on the call.
thank you for the disclaimer. See, sometimes I'll be too real, and I'm not judging nobody, but I'm gonna have to assess you a little bit more if you're a Gemini. Okay. But back to what I was saying. She said she was a Libra and she said her birthday was October 16th. October 16th is my birthday. So she tells me she owns this small hotel, right? And we connected. We didn't even meet. We didn't even know this lady. And we had walked to this restaurant. We got in a car with her. We just felt so connected. She took us all around the island. She knew everybody on the island. Now, in Turks and Caicos, people look like us. This is a white lady. She's been there for 6 years. So she takes us all around. She's telling me everywhere and where to build and what's going on and all the new trends. The next day before we go to the airport, we went and did dinner with her. She said, you can make a lot of money and I know everything there is to know. Everything there is to know on how to get started. She sent me links to, look at Nikki writing it down. She sent me links to properties that were for sale. And she said that if and when, she said, I can tell you just gonna do it. I said, yeah, I've always thought about, I can be over here doing the winter, running my business. So she said, it's best to build over there, not buy anything existing, but that's the Turks and Caicos connection, you know? And then one last thing before we go to the next question. There is a member of the CEO Chicks. Her name is Veronica Figueroa.
I love her.
This lady just bought her own 10, 15 unit vacation resort hotel in Mexico.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so she's doing Airbnb on the next level. So she knows, you know, the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. I believe that is so important with knowing people, because if they did it and I can learn from you opposed to figuring it out and making all the mistakes, then let me learn from you. Teach me what you know. So international travel
under their wing.
And it's giving forthcoming with all the information, want to really see you win, want to help you win. And that's all I'm surrounding myself around, because I think that in the next 5 years, this with a group like a powerhouse like us, like, come on now. Okay, we got to resort because it's possible. And the lady I met in Turks and Caicos, she was single. She was doing it by herself. Doing it by herself and doing the damn thing. So that was motivation for me. So that's where we're going. Yeah, there's no limit on this, you know, short-term rental, vacation rental. thing, because it's going to be around for a while.
And then obviously with the international side, you know, you have to worry about the whole key is to really have a partner that's over wherever you're going to actually launch the business, because then you'll have some type of shelter, you know, for your money and all that type of stuff, right? You'll be able to also take advantage of the laws of the land as well. You want to be able to take advantage of the laws of the land. You don't want to be considered a foreigner, you know, operating over there. So you want to have a partner that you can partner with that will be able to give you those advantages. That's another big key. But you know, that's understanding how the international business stuff work and understanding how you're gonna have to move your money. That's how you make the most money.
I'm all for that, but I'm also the voice of reason and of caution. So make sure you do your due diligence on who you partnering with, so they don't take all your money and don't provide you with anything. So
absolutely
proceed with caution.
Absolutely. I don't know where we are in the chat. I lost track.
What would be the very first step in starting an Airbnb? Do I start with an LLC?
Yes, I would highly suggest starting an LLC. I did with my first property. I put it under my LLC. And when I say I put it under my LLC, I mean when I register for like the platforms. But going back to that initial question earlier, when I go in, I generally do the personal lease. And now we're getting ready to do the corporate lease. So it's two different ways to do it. But what's been working for me has been, you know, going in as Nikki Burnett. This is me.
Hey, and if it's not broken, sometimes you don't have to fix it, but it does not mean that you can't have a multi-pronged approach to what you're doing.
Exactly. So when it comes to the corporate leases, which is the way that we're going to go, Nikki, we are going to be forthcoming about, we have, it's part of the script. We're basically going to say that we have our own employees that stay in there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll use the LLC. So when they ask, oh, why do you want to do a corporate lease? Oh, because my employees travel and this is where they'll be staying. That's the script that Kevin Motivated Me teaches.
Too far from the truth, because when we travel, we can stay there.
and we will. I like, to be honest, I stay at all my properties. I do. And that is the way to get around the corporate leases. But are you going to do the corporate lease and still say, I'm gonna put it on Airbnb? Absolutely not. Because it's frowned upon. You hear so much, you know, negativity when it comes to that. But when you know how to run it right, it's profitable and it's successful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mimi said, when we were asking Mimi, where was it that you stayed for a month and that you had to be evicted? It's Texas.
I think this is Mimi, my cousin. Is this my cousin, Mimi? Mimi, is this you?
Mimi said
it's me, cuz it's me.
I'm like, Mimi from Texas. Okay, me. I know you probably look. This is my little cousin, but this girl has been, Mimi, you're remarkable. So my aunt, let me give y'all a little understanding of real estate in our bloodline. So her mom is my aunt, my mom's sister, and she has owned multi-units in Chicago forever. So when I got my license, she was one of my first clients, and she said, look, niece, this is what I need. I don't be running around with realtors. I'm gonna tell you one time, you're gonna get it right. I was like, okay. And I sold her one of her first $500,000 properties. So Mimi is in her early 30s and she's already bought 3-4 properties.
I love it.
Yep. And she moved from Chicago, doing her thing in Houston, got her own barbershop. She's just the ultimate hustler. But Mimi, please, I know you're at work, but can you give me an understand? I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm off work now, but
Okay.
if you stay in Houston for 30 days, you would have to, my friend just ran into this, you would actually have to give them an eviction notice.
Okay,
if they push the issue.
Well, how would they know?
No. So
Tell
What
me the
was it?
situation, what happened?
Okay, so she Airbnb it out, right? And they stayed for 30 days and she was like, okay, the the time is the time for y'all to leave. And they pretty much said, no, you have to evict me. I've been here 30 days. I've been here
I
30
get
days.
I get what you're saying. So they basically a squatter.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so thank God I have never run into that issue. And I have heard some stories, and I'm gonna give a real quick story. So I had a lady in Arizona, and
Mhm.
she had rented at the beginning of November, and she was scheduled to leave at the end of November. So she did a 30 night, and I was like, yes, because I don't know what was going on with the bookings, but we wasn't getting the bookings. And then she said she wanted to extend. Now, generally people will say, I want to extend because I'm waiting for my house to be built or this, that, and the other, right? She didn't have a reason for why she was extending, but she paid the money. So she extended another 15 days. So I'm getting the vibe that she may be a squatter and I may have to evict her because it's just something it ain't adding up. So we saw on the camera that the police came. Now, this is one issue, the first and only issue I've ever had with the police. So we saw on the camera that the police was at the house. So I called her and I was like, hey, and she was a Caucasian woman with her kids. So I said, hey, whatever her name was, I see the police was there. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I just had a domestic situation with my boyfriend, but he's gone now. So I'm like, oh shit, this lady ain't going nowhere. But I have a property manager. So I had her physically go over there the day that she was checking out. And again, I could tell that something was going on, but thank God she left. So when it comes to a person not wanting to leave, you would definitely have to get the police involved, eviction notice, and then contact Airbnb. So I couldn't see any other way, but it could happen. That definitely could happen. And I felt like it almost happened to me, but I was letting that lady know I wasn't playing. That's why I sent somebody over there.
Okay,
So
understood.
yeah, so I think that I would get the police involved, Airbnb or whatever platform, and then maybe call in a favor. Maybe not even call the police. Maybe call a police friend and say, "Hey, can you go over here?" Because the police will say, "I can't, intervene."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you definitely got to go, that route to do it the right way.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for clarifying. So, what are you most proud of about your short-term rental business?
I am proud of the reviews, and I'm proud of course, how well they look. And one of the things I pride myself on is going into my property and it's smelling fresh. It smell clean. I don't have to think that somebody else just slept in here and did God knows what on this bed. And Nikki, I was telling you when we just did the branding shoot in Atlanta, we paid $650 a night for a nice house, but it didn't smell fresh.
Mm.
And I told the host, I didn't leave a bad review being a host, and I just told him how I felt. So I think that making my clients, my guests, or whatever you want to call them, I think making them happy, and that's the first thing. Oh, the place looks so nice. It smells so good in here.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I pride myself on that because I don't want to offer a place that I wouldn't stay, and I am very particular. So if I wouldn't stay there, or I didn't like the way it looked or smelled or the location it was in, I wouldn't offer it. So yeah, I'm proud of my babies because I love decorating them.
I love it. 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 So tell me some of the strategies that you use for mitigating risk and maximizing returns.
So the first property I told you, there was no investment involved, right? But the second property, I got started pretty quickly, and I used some of the money that I made from the first property, but then I kind of went all in and just spent a whole lot of my money. And if I had to do it all over again, I would have used the bank's money, which is
Amen. Say it one more time.
listen, you have to use other people's money. OPM is the term, because I'm almost there, but I'm currently waiting on my ROI. And it's gonna come in a little bit quicker if you're utilizing your business credit, personal credit, but you know, had I not done that, I wouldn't be where I am now. But if I had to do it all over again, no. Navy Federal, I need a good 50,000. Okay.
It's up with that all the time.
What do you say, Nikki? They are the Bentley of banks.
Bentley of the credit unions. Yes, they are. We absolutely love them. Now, I will say they're more so geared towards the personal side. To be quite honest with you, they'll give you whatever on the personal side if you have a personal relationship with them. On the business side, I'm still trying to figure out that model. I haven't figured out that model too much yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But what I have found, even with the when you're first starting out, the biggest thing, like we talked about this before, and you know, we're gonna get more of our business credit classes back up again. But when you're first starting out, you really have to work on getting credit card money when you first start out, because it's going to be hard for you to go into any bank, even the community banks, and get a line of credit or you know, even a credit card with them. You know, they want you to actually have an established relationship with them some time, and you know, you have a business banking relationship with them for some time. And we actually have been with our bank for some time. Now we haven't gone back since the first time we tried. And we were like, well, darn, you know, how much money do we have to run through y'all before we can get a $10,000 card? You know what I'm saying? Their lending practices are just so different. So that's why we always tell you, if you're going to start out and you need some capital, start out playing in the business credit space, the credit card space, start with the vendor accounts. Then you can work your way up, you know, through the tiers. But if you have relationships, then we have hacks and stuff that you can take advantage of too. But I won't go off on a tangent because y'all know I love talking about that. And we're not talking about building business credit tonight. We're talking about short-term rentals.
but I wanna touch on that. So with all of, you know, my experience and doing things my way the first time around, I've learned. So what I am doing is I am teaching my clients, because I have some people, I have a lady I'm coaching in Tampa, and she said, well, Nikki, I just took out this money. I refinanced my house. I got a good $50,000 to invest. I said, hold up. I said, how's your credit? She said, oh, I'm like a 780. She has 2 LLCs. I said, let's not be in a rush to use your money. Let's not be in a rush to use. I'm not going to tell you to invest in some stocks or anything, but hold on to that. Hold on to that liquid. We don't have to reinvest that, especially now. If you ain't have the credit, then hey, you got to do what you got to do. And scared money don't make no money. So we would have to spend that money. But because you don't, we're going to go this route. So the group coaching, I've also added memberships. I have a friend that is with Navy Federal. So she's basically sponsoring some of the people that I'm coaching that is, you know, trying to get into the credit union. So I offer that as well. But I say, if you have to get a personal loan, go ahead and get a personal loan. So that way it can pay for first month's rent and security. And then back to the credit cards. That's when you get the Amazons. That's when you apply for the at-homes or just one credit card, because Navy Federal will give you a $20,000 credit card.
Especially because, and it's because, I'm just gonna say this one thing and I'm gonna drop it. It's because it's based on your relationship with them. It's not based on your credit score and all those. It's based on your relationship. So if you've been with the bank for over 20 years, like me and Pammy, we've been getting money from them forever. I have to tell them I don't need no more of your money. I'm good.
I had a relationship like that with US Bank in Chicago. And I mean, when it came to getting my clients approved, those were my, like so it's important to have that. And when you know better, you do better. So I don't care what you have, you know, save that for a rainy day, invest that for a rainy day. And then utilize the credit, because you're going to build, and that's how you're going to get more properties.
And the other piece too, that you know, piggybacking off what you were talking about in terms of use your, you know, save your liquid. You want to use your liquid as collateral and leverage to get you in the doors for different things. You want that money to be sitting. That's how you get access to other things. If they have liquidity that they can look at it like, oh, you know, you got this, you got that. You don't want to use it though. You're just using it as leverage. That's what you want to use your liquidity for.
And that's so true, because when you apply, they want to see, you know, how much money you're making. They want to see the reserves, and they're going to base that off of how much money you're bringing in.
Exactly. See, we just gave y'all so many nuggets in that one question. What are some of the latest trends and insights in the short-term rental market?
I kind of mentioned it earlier. So I have learned that a way to attract people, new guests, is to cut out the cleaning fee. So, now, and in turn, you're gonna put it in the rently and the nightly.
I was gonna say, so where's it coming in, Nikki?
You're gonna make it make sense, but when they see zero for the cleaning fee, they gonna think they getting something for free, and you know we love something for free.
We do.
So that is the new trend, that is the new hack, and it makes sense because so for me, I only allow a minimum of 3 nights. You're not staying for a night. You're not staying for 2 nights. I don't want those type of guests.
Understood.
Yeah. What are you here for? What are you here for a night? If that's the case, go stay at a hotel.
Exactly.
Because at that point, it's so much traction, and that's more wear and tear. So the way you break it down is your $150 cleaning fee. I do know some people that charge $200. You just divide that by the nights, across the nights. But again, when they look at the bottom line, they see the rental fee, 0 cleaning fee. Of course, you got the taxes and, you know, Airbnb's percentage, but that is the new way to attract more guests.
I love it. And so I do see that you guys have some other, now something happened with my internet, so I missed some of the stuff that was in the chat, but it's okay, because what we're going to have Nikki do is tell us what she has next coming up in terms of exciting opportunities. She talked about some of that, and if you guys want to get in contact with her, the best way to reach her. So over to you, Nikki, and then we're going to close us out.
All right. So first and foremost, I enjoyed my new community, my new tribe of people that's trying to get to it. That's what keeps us motivated. You know what I'm saying? That's what that holds us accountable to say, okay, I know I might not have done this last week, but these people gonna motivate me, you know, or I want to be a part of this international situation that we gonna make sure our I's are dotted and T's are crossed, fam.
Yes.
We're gonna make sure we go through all the proper channels, but we're gonna level up. And we're going to level up together. So you can find me on Instagram, NikkiBTheBrand.com, and I am offering group coaching where I help you determine the area. Were you going to say something, Nikki?
I was going to ask Jessica to drop that stuff in the chat for you because you're talking. If she would be so kind. Go ahead.
Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. So yeah, I offer group coaching that pretty much helps you navigate and learn where to start, what area, introduce you to a realtor that's going to help you along your search. And then we have weekly coaching that pretty much holds your hand, answer all your questions, case by case, and help you get started. Learn, you know, how to price it properly, and learn how to make some money. So I want to be clear. You're not going to make a ton of money having one property. So you have to start there. You know, I average about $1,000 to $1,250, maybe $1,500 per month per property. And in order to really scale, it's a good idea to invest in a coach that knows how to help you, you know, get to those 10 properties or 20 properties where you're really making some money. So, like I said, I'm on Instagram. Soon I'll be having some stuff on YouTube. That's what we did our branding shoot for. Yeah, and then I also have the hookah lounge coming up. I'm just one of those people that's going to figure out a way to really build generational wealth, and stay productive and stay growing. Like I want my hands and a little bit of everything.
Yes.
You know,
I love it.
I didn't spend all these years sacrificing for this kid, doing, I mean, I've always done me, don't get me wrong, but this is my time to not only live, but explore, but really make some money. So I'm doing a little bit of everything this year with like-minded people that's gonna make it easier.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, Jessica did drop that information in the chat for you guys. She is offering a free 30-minute call that you can speak with her. So make sure you know, if it's something you're interested in, that you reach out to her. If you have any additional questions, you can reach out to her individually as well. If you are interested in talking to us about some of the things that we have going on as well, you can give us a call. Pam, you can reflect that for us in the screen so that they can see that. We always want to make sure that if we haven't connected with you, that you schedule some time to chat with us so that we can hear about what you have going on, what you're doing. We're not charging for these calls right now, but today's price is not going to be tomorrow's. Okay.
Listen, Jessica seconds that.
You read my mind, Nikki D.
Listen, we have a brand manager that's not playing with us no more.
I'm
She is-
coming for you next week. Be ready.
She's pushing us off the ledge and all types of things. So you guys will start seeing some changes soon because we don't have a choice.
And that's the only way to scale. You are
For
only
sure.
as big as your team. And had I not been a know-it-all in 2016 when my client told me about Airbnb, I could have been a millionaire back then, before it really blew up, because he got in early. Just imagine how many properties he has now.
I know.
And then the price, and then everything was cheap back then.
It was, but it's okay. Because we all are firm believers that everything is in divine time. And so it's our time now.
It's our time now.
And when it's your time and when it's aligned with God, nobody can get in the way of it. So it doesn't even matter. We'll be just fine. You know, Pammy always has to get me back in line with that.
Everybody needs a Pam.
Relax, it will be fine. But please do make sure you guys schedule a call. We also have another business that we recently launched too, which is called Diva Snap Booth. You know, like Nikki said, we have our hands in a little bit of everything. And what we do is, if it's a table that needs to be created, if it's not there for us, we create the table. That's what we believe in. We actually, we're always hosting events. We're always having something. We're always doing something. And we were having a hard time finding a photo booth. We love photo booths. Photo booths is a new thing, right? Just like Nikki was talking about the event space and the hookah bars and all that stuff. That's the new thing, and it's been around. Y'all know about the 360 booths and all that stuff now too. So we have our own business that we actually did a soft launch of it, and Jessica helped us with our site. Thank you, Jessica. It's amazing.
Amazing.
You're
Amazing.
welcome.
Thank you. And so if you guys have an event that's coming up and you're on this call and you book your event, we will give you guys an additional discount. So let us know if you book it. Obviously, you have to be in the area. We're not traveling too far out of the DMV at this particular point. So it has to be something around here for now. But we would love to come and host your party and help you guys design something and work with you on that as well. We'll be having a hard launch of it very soon, but you guys were one of the first to hear about it. Okay? Do y'all have any successes that y'all want to share with us before we go? You know, we like to share that. That's one of our successes.
That's right.
Anybody else? No?
Everybody is shy tonight. But hold on.
Successes on this call.
Wait, hold on, Pam. It was the picture for me. It was the stance on the website, honey.
I'm really shy.
No, you're not. That picture was given, honey.
How can we contact you for a call? Contact us So Pam, could you put up are you talking about Nikki B or us? Who are you speaking on? Nikki B's information is actually in the chat. NikkiBTheBrand.com.
Yes.
It's two Nikki.
Nikki D. It's two Nikki's. It's Nikki D and Nikki B. Which one? Nikki D is David. Nikki B is Nikki B. Yes. So Nikki B's information is there. It's NikkiBTheBrand.com.
You can send me a DM.
Yep. Or you can catch her on Instagram as well. Same thing. Kishana, you have a question?
Not so much a question. Just had something to share. Thank you guys
Yes.
for doing this. I'm sorry, I missed the beginning of it. I was literally in the grocery store shopping. Nikki's notification came in my email, and I just hurried up and put all my stuff in the cart and came home because I had to get on the phone. So I but I just wanted to say, Nikki, I recently watched your interview on with I'm drawing a blank. I forgot his name.
Anthony O'Neill.
Ayo. Anthony O'Neill.
Yes. O'Neill. Yes. I just recently watched that, and I'm in the exact same position that you were in when you had your first place and then you moved. I just finished like sprucing up my place. I have a 3-bedroom townhome. I just finished sprucing it up because we're moving to another city, and I'm ready to like Airbnb the whole thing out. So I went to your website. I got the playbook. I just booked a calendar appointment with you.
Nice.
I'm like so ready to go. So it's like perfect timing. I'm so grateful.
Oh my God. And again, I think everything is aligned. First of all, congratulations, but I can't wait to help you because I did exactly the way you did it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you're going to make more money because you don't have to start from scratch. So you have a major advantage.
Yes, I already got furniture. The lease is secure for another year. So
let's go.
Yes, good to go. And you just completely motivated me. I was thinking about it. I was on the fence. I seen your interview. And the next day I went out and started getting rugs and blinds and curtains and, because I
love it.
Yeah, so I'm so excited that I was able to jump on tonight, and I can't wait to talk to you. And thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you. That's so awesome. That is so awesome.
Well, good luck to you, and we're going to win together. And I love the fact that you have a townhome. I love that you're starting from that space because you have to cut a lot of corners when it comes to the condos and apartments. It could be done, but that separate entry, that it makes a world of difference. It makes things easier.
Yeah, I figured as much too, and I'm right by an airport, so I'm hoping that it's going to be what I need it to be.
Girl, you at the right place at the right time.
Congratulations! That is awesome. I love it. I love it.
It is.
Thank you.
Excited to work with you.
Yes. So again, if there's anyone that if you missed the call, don't worry about that. I mean, you missed the beginning. I see a lot of people saying that they missed the beginning. We actually have this recorded, and we're going to send it out to everyone, so it'll be perfectly fine. But you have to make sure that you're actually on our mailing list to get it though, because if you're not on our mailing list, then we won't be able to send it to you. So if you aren't, just shoot us a quick email so that we can get it over to you. That's not a problem. But thank you so much, Nikki. You were amazing. Wasn't she amazing? Can we give her some jazz fingers?
Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks for having me. There is no place like I have, again, outgrown so many of my surroundings over the last 4 decades. Like to continue to grow and to be a part of these type of groups. That's next level. I'm so excited to see what everybody has the next time I get on a call next month, because now this is going to motivate somebody else. This is going to motivate, because I know Nikki, she already going to be like, okay, Nikki, so what you say about Turks and Caicos, I already know.
She's a stalker and she's relentless. So just know, probably in 6 months, we're going to be set up in Turks and Caicos, right?
Listen, Nikki executes. So let me share this. This is my favorite book when I'm reading right now. So it teaches you how to get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. So 12 weeks versus 12 months, because by January, we still be talking about, oh, we're going to lose. I'm sorry, by June, oh, I'm still going to do this and do that. And we think we got 6 more months, but we really don't, because now if we had executed properly, the things that we could have got done in a year, which is 12 months, could have been done in 12 weeks if we would have done what we really needed to do. And it's all about working smarter, not harder, implementing systems, building your team. So I'm constantly partnering. We can't do it all. We can't do it alone.
We can't. We can't. I'd rather get 1% of 100 people efforts than 100% of my own. I say that all the time, and I stole it from Bill Gates. Yes, I did, because I love it. I love it. It makes perfect sense to me. But I am so excited that you guys paused this evening with us. Pam, did I miss anything before I close us out, though?
Nope. Thank you, everybody.
We had an awesome turnout. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There is more to come. We are not done. We are not done.
We're just getting started.
We are just getting started. You guys have an awesome evening. There are so many places that you guys could have been, but you came here with us and paused with us for these couple of hours, and we are extremely appreciative. We wish you peace, love, and blessings. Ashe.
Good night, everyone. And yes, we are on, look, Paragon Partners will be having our presence on Instagram very soon. And if you ever want to find me, I'm on Instagram, not Facebook. I didn't even bother to give my Facebook because I might not see your messages, but Nikki B, the brand, I live there. That's my baby. That's my bread and butter. So let's connect, let's schedule a call. Let's win together.
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good
All right.
Good night.
Good night.